In this video, we'll actually learn about Bitcoin ETFs. Now, over the course of your crypto journey, you will be exposed to Bitcoin in different ways. The first is to be able to purchase the asset itself. This you can be able to do on a P2P marketplace such as Paxful or Noance.com. Here, you are buying from someone else who has the asset, or you are selling to someone else and they give you fiat. Or you can do the same thing on P2P on an exchange like Binance or Bybit. All these places you can be able to buy the asset Bitcoin. After this, of course, you also need to store this Bitcoin. The second way to get exposed to Bitcoin is through futures trading. This is not the asset itself, but these are contractual agreements and an agreement to either buy or sell Bitcoin in the future. This involves leverage, which means is an element of borrowing. Here, this is a riskier way to get exposed to Bitcoin. The third way of getting exposed to Bitcoin is pretty new. It's called ETF. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. This is a fund that tracks the price up or down of Bitcoin, and then the fund itself gives you the benefits of the asset without having to invest in the asset itself. In 2021, there was a very fast approved Bitcoin futures ETF, which then means that the ETF tracks the contractual agreements of Bitcoin futures, not Bitcoin itself. But now in 2023, there has been a lot of talk around having what is known as a Bitcoin Spot ETF. This means that the ETF will be tracking the movement of the asset Bitcoin going up and down. This is especially good for institutional investors who do not want to put Bitcoin on their books, or their countries have not approved Bitcoin to be recognized as an asset that can be put on the company's books. Institutional investors as well, through an ETF, can be able to get the benefits of the price of Bitcoin without having to invest in Bitcoin itself. And so they can use their normal brokerage accounts without having to worry about they need to store their Bitcoin in a safe space. So this is a good development in the space, because essentially what will happen if a Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF, is approved, it will most likely lead to an increase in the price of Bitcoin. Whether that is a good or bad thing right now, that companies like BlackRock are getting into Bitcoin space, is something that is up for debate, but that's not the point of this particular video. In this video, I want to also introduce you to another way of getting exposed to Bitcoin, which is the Bitcoin ETF token. So remember, the ETF is tracking the movement of Bitcoin. The Bitcoin ETF token is tracking the movement of Bitcoin ETFs. This essentially means that there is most likely going to be an increase in the price of this token when the first spot ETF is approved, and that could happen anytime. As well, if Bitcoin hits particular milestones, that could lead to the increase in price of the Bitcoin ETF token. To be able to sign up and start getting exposed to the Bitcoin ETF, I've placed the first link in the description below that you can be able to look at. And as well, I have placed the white paper and other resources that you may need in order to understand the Bitcoin ETF token even more. It's on the ERC20 blockchain, so it's an Ethereum token that is there. And remember, this is a very speculative token as well. So whatever I'm telling you is exposing you just to the token itself. If you want to invest in the token itself, please exercise your risk management strategies as well when you're getting into this token. At the moment, it's in pre-sale at the time of production of this video, and it could go up in price depending on when you will have seen this particular video. And I'll see you in the next one.